Good morning. I'm Steve Johnson with Pragmatic Marketing. We're going to spend the next few minutes talking about a strategic role for product management. A lot of the companies I work with have defined it by what it isn't rather than what it is. It's not sales. It's not development. It's not Marcom. It's something else. And we're going to look at that today. You can find more about Pragmatic Marketing up on our website, pragmaticmarketing.com, which has more information about our seminars and courses. You can also find information about product management and product marketing in general at our free resource site called productmarketing.com. And some additional tools helpful from this seminar can be found at productmarketing.com/EB. So you'll find some worksheets and stuff I'll talk about while we're together. Pragmatic Marketing has been around technology for over a decade as we work with technology and primarily with product management and product marketing people at technology companies around the world. Since 1993, we've trained over 30,000 people in some of the stuff I'll be showing you today. I think most places I've worked with have found that technology marketing seems to be different than the stuff we learned in college. And so we'll look at some of the stuff we learned in college and see if we can apply a technology spin to it. Furthermore, a lot of product managers find there's a great deal of stress in the job of product management because we don't really know how to do it. There's not a procedures manual, and the stuff we learned in college is pretty hard to apply to the business that we're in. So we'll be looking at that today. This is the tool for which we are best known, a definition of what the job of product management is rather than defining it by what it isn't. And that's really what we're going to be, is going to be the focus of our session today as we walk through these different categories of functions and look at what they mean and how we can use this tool to get our arms around the job of product management. And we're talking about the role, not the title. I was in a session recently and I had 16 people in the room, 16 different titles, and they all did the same thing. I was talking to one group and they said, well, you're talking about product management, but I think you mean industry management. And someone else said, no, I think you mean solution management. And we argued about the title, but nobody disagreed about the role. All these boxes have to happen. All these activities have to happen. So when I work with small companies, it turns out there is a product manager. It's the president. But as we grow older and bigger and have more people, the president can no longer apply his attention down at the product level because he's too busy with hiring and firing and cash flow and financing and signage and dabbling in Marcom. And so these are some of the things we find, some of the titles we find, but we want to talk about the role of product management while we're together. It might help to look at this graphic. Product management is stuck in between the development group, the Marcom organization, and the sales organization. But how far do we go into those organizations? A lot of organizations, product management is in the development group, and they frequently become the assistants to the development process. But how far do we go? I mean, in most organizations, it's pretty clear that product managers write requirements. But sometimes we go further and write specifications and screen diagrams and test plans. And where did product management stop and development begin there? And so we'll look at some lines between product management and development while we're together. How far does product management go into the Marcom, Marketing Communications Organization? In a lot of organizations, product management is doing all of the copy, writing all the copy, or at least approving it. And one company said they defined marketing as applying the corporate template and making sure all the TMs were used correctly. Seems like Marcom should have more of a contribution than that. But there ought to be a pretty clear line between what product management is and what marketing communication is. And that line is blurred in a lot of organizations. And then finally, how far do we go from the product management organization to the sales organization? I'm depressed to learn how much time product managers often spend supporting the sales effort, doing that strategic role I refer to as demo boy or demo girl, or one company calls it demo monkey. That's got to feel good. Or answering salespeople's questions, because apparently it's easier to call a product manager than it is to find it on the internet, which actually may be true in a lot of organizations. So what are the lines between these departments is really the subject of what we'll be talking about today. One of the funny questions to ask executives is, what is marketing? Because they almost always say it's the 4 Ps, but they can't remember really any of them. They remember price and then, 3 other words with the P in it.